G'day, Josh here with another Chess Rush video, and we're loading into a game replay and going to be looking at pretty much a full Punisher lobby. Now, this was an interesting start. I pretty much wanted to go Punishers with this build, so I didn't end up selecting any featured heroes. I think that Punishers are very, very strong in the meta right now, but I'm still trying to work out what the strongest Punisher build is. So if you're up against other Punisher builds, which version of the Punisher build is going to beat those other Punisher builds? And I might have found one that's very close to it with this specific build, which we'll get to see in the end game. But early on, I kept finding Cyborg, so I ended up using Cyborg as my early game combo. And that's what they're very, very good for. They are quite a good early game combo. So you'll see that as we jump through to our first PvP round on the board, I actually have 4 Cyborgs already, as well as a 2-star Steel Fist. So it's going to be a nice, easy win for me early, especially with that Stalker drone in the back line there. And at this point in time, no one really has too much going on, but we can see that Lester, 19 up the top, does have 2 Punishers already. And I don't yet have... Oh, no, sorry. I've got 1 Nightingale on the bench. But obviously that's not really enough for a 4 Punisher combo just yet. So let's just skip through. Here's another... I sold off my Miss Supersonic, upgraded that to a Ground Smasher. And the Stalker drone in the backline still doing his thing. So it's an early game Cyborg build, which is pretty funny. But 4 of them can be very strong, especially if you've got a 2-star Steel Fist there with Stalker Drone. Just nice high DPS early game is really good, especially when most other heroes are still 1-star. You see that now Boss has 2 Punishers as well, and already has a 2-star Nightingale, which is very, very strong early game. Let's just keep jumping through to the battles to see how they unfold. Now, at this point in time, I've found myself both Lucifer and Lancelot, so I now have 2 Punishers on the board, as well as my 4 Cyborgs. But I end up going up against Boss, and his build is slightly stronger at this point in time. So Boss still has 2 humans, 2 Punishers, 2 Summoners, but got more 2-stars, got more strength out there than I do. So he ends up dealing me my first defeat, which was a little bit annoying. But you can see there that I'm collecting some other pieces on my bench to try and be as flexible as possible. And that's a very nice find. I'm only level 6, but I managed to find not only another Lucifer in that shop, but also a Head Reaper, a 4 cost, an epic hero. Very, very nice. This is just a creep round, of course, so I'm just fiddling with things. I sold off 2 of my Cyborgs at this point because I didn't have them 2-starred, and then just trying to figure out which 2 Goblins I want in to get that speed attack boost. Obviously, I want Head Reaper in there instead of Hog Rider at this point in time. Let's jump ahead to the next PvP round. And my board state now, I've got 3 Assassins out on the board, as well as a 2-star Voodoo Elder, which is very, very nice. Also found a Kraken. Kraken is just such a strong individual hero in the meta. I keep talking about her in my videos, but basically she's the one hero that no matter what build I'm running, I'll always buy every copy of a Kraken that I see. The one exception being if I just cannot fit her in, I find her real late and I just can't fit her in, or if the game's about to end and I don't need her or can't level her to 3-star or something like that. I think from memory this game is a bit like that. I get her to 2-star and I do see other copies, but the game is very close to ending and I'm clearly not going to 3-star her, so I don't bother buying the extras. But now I've got a 2-star Nightingale of my own, as well as a 2-star Lucifer, who is very, very strong early. I've obviously got the Lancelot on the bench, so I just need the Dimension Walker to complete my 4 Punishers. 4 Punishers, got the 3 Assassins, of course. Not the Bonnet Ninja is going to stay around late game. The most logical upgrade there is Stinger for the Undead, or if you get to the Legendary, then of course Sword Dancer. I do like using Siren for the 2 Oceanborn. If you're using Kraken as well, it gives you that magic resistance. Although looking at this build, there's only 1 player, that's Lester, who's actually going Sorcerers. So I'm not as worried about Sorcerers in this particular build. And this is a close one. Do we end up getting the win here? I don't think we do. I think from memory, yeah, we end up... Glutton takes out our Head Reaper there, and we do take a little bit of damage. Not too much. But we do take that loss there. So round 9, and this is the Sorcerer build. I don't yet have 2 Oceanborn out on the field, but as you can see, I do have 4 Punishers now. I found Dimension Walker and 4 Punishers at this stage. Round 9, incredibly strong. and I'll give you a bit of an idea of my item placement at this point as well. So I actually end up changing things this round. I think, yeah, sell off the Bionic Ninja. There we go. And now I've got all the items in my item chest, and here's where I start placing them. So Lucifer gets the tome to get his transform happening as quickly as possible, as well as that dagger, because increases in attack speed for Punishers, increases the combo effect, the passive ability of my Dimension Walker. Dimension Walker also gets the longsword for the extra damage output. And from memory, I end up getting a pretty lucky creep round here as it's about to start. I think I get another two, maybe. I think another two longswords. I think the fourth longsword comes later. But getting extra longswords is incredible. You stack them all on Dimension Walker, and every time his passive fires off, he does all that extra damage from having those longswords. So it's really, really useful. I think I ended up giving the defensive armor to Lucifer to help keep him alive as long as possible as well. Then we get into the next PvP round, and I'll give you a quick look at what the board is looking like. We actually have lost someone very, very early. King went out very, very early, which makes it a little bit harder because you're playing people more regularly now that you've lost someone in one of the early rounds. And then also the second last player went out to the Harpies at round 10. They were actually rocking a couple of Punishers too, but so we're down to 6 at round 11, which means you're seeing people very, very regularly, which means the game is shorter because you just end up losing more life. So it makes it harder to complete builds and to do well, but we do all right with this one. And we're matched up against this build. This is also a Punisher build, and we end up getting the win, thankfully. We did very nicely there. Our 2-star Lucifer and our Dimension Walker. Look at the DPS chart there. They're absolutely carrying us. And having a couple of goblins, we actually have 3 out at the moment, but having 2 out at least means that all of the attack speed across the board is buffed as well. I did give up my 3 assassins to do that. As you can see here, collecting more Punishers. Once again, I will always collect, in a Punisher build, always collect any copy of Lucifer or Dimension Walker, because 3-starring them can be absolutely game-breaking. Let's jump into this battle round here. So I'm still sitting pretty in second place at this point in time. 50 HP, which is very, very nice. Matching up against Angry Papa, we are going to get the win here once again. The DPS coming out of our Punishers is just absolutely insane, which is why I think that they are one of the strongest builds in the meta right now. Now that Marsh Lord did get that slight nerf, of course, and we win on this board as well. And let's have a look. What do I do? We're at, so I'm going to level 9 here. And that allows me to get another hero on the board, which of course will be Kraken at this point. You could also just put another 1-star Lucifer out on the board. That would also be worthwhile, but I wanted to get the stun happening, and there's the 2-star Kraken, which is absolutely incredible. And that shot also gave me Sword Dancer and Misfortune, or another Misfortune. So having that Sword Dancer is really, really, really nice as well. And do I just have enough time? I think I end up swapping the Sword Dancer onto the board. There we go. I don't need 3 goblins out there, so Sword Dance is a little bit better to have. And we're now watching the round 3 fight. There is a 3-star Bionic Ninja in the back line there, which is wreaking a bit of havoc. There's that Kraken stun. So useful, especially being a 2-star. And this one is close, but thankfully Lucifer just goes absolutely crazy, and I end up getting that win there. And that moves me into number 1 overall. And the bottom player is very, very close to being eliminated. There's another upgrade. The next big upgrade I'm really looking for, of course, is the 2-star Dimension Walker. So let's jump into the next PvP here, the battle. It's so nice in these replays being able to skip straight to the battles, because the prep phase usually isn't that exciting. It's the battles that you want to see, and as you can see, we're on a pretty nice tear at the moment. Kraken doing her thing. Now, I believe she is bugged at the moment and that she can stun outside of her animated ink area, so often I will try and frontline her if I can get some a staff or a tome on her, but given that I think she's actually bugged and she can hit pretty much the whole board anyway, I'm not too stressed about it. Now, this is the next creep round. Let's skip through to the next PvP round, and let's have a quick look at what my board state looks like. No real differences at this stage, apart from the fact that I did just go to level 10. So obviously level 10 is going to give me the best chance of finding the 4 and 5 cost heroes I need to finish my build. Getting a 2-star version of Sword Dancer would be huge. Dimension Walker and Misfortune as well are the other key heroes. I think you end up selling off that Hog Rider very soon as well, because 3-starring Hog Rider at this stage is a very, very low priority. You're going to see more of the 4 costs than the 1 cost heroes, and a 3-star 1 cost is nowhere near as good as a 3-star 4 cost. Oh my goodness, so many numbers in that sentence, but I hope you understood what I was talking about. Alright, next battle, few 3-stars on this side of the board. Now that Nightingale is a problem, but thankfully it's not a crazy stacked Punisher build like ours, so it's not attacking anywhere near as quickly as our 2-star Nightingale. I end up doing pretty well here, and I end up, I believe, I took boss down to 1 HP, so not quite the elimination, just down to 1 HP. But you can see there that, so 7th place was a Punisher build, 6th place was a Punisher build, 5th place was a Punisher build, 4th and 3rd place are currently Punisher builds, and I'm of course a Punisher build. So when I say Punisher builds that are including Punishers in them. Some of those are not primarily Punisher builds. Only the 4 Punishers that are a core Punisher build. So there's what, 1, 2, 3 of those. But that's a lot of people running Punishers, which means that you are competing to find the pieces that you need. But thankfully, I've done okay so far. Managed to 2-star my Dimension Walker. He has 4 long swords or great swords on him at this point in time as well. So doing tons of ability damage. And you'll see that with the DPS. Sword Dancer jumping out to the early DPS lead, but very quickly Dimension Walker going absolutely ham. You can see his ability going off across the board, and very, very comfortable win there. We're down to the top 3 just like that. I think Boss goes out this round as well from memory. There we go. So we're down to the final 2. I'm sitting pretty on 50 HP, and Lester, who is the other person running a 4 Punisher build. His is a different variant. It's a human Punisher build, and it's got that 3-star Marsh Lord. Of course, it's also got Joan of Arc, so it's rocking a couple of summoners as well. And let's see how we do against that, jumping straight through the battle. We do, of course, have that 2-star Sword Dancer that I touched on earlier as well. And very, very quickly, you see that the extra attack speed I'm getting out of my 2 goblins is so beneficial. The Kraken stun, you can see it hit that Flame Caller, even though Flame Caller was nowhere near the ink that she sent off, and that was the win there. Let's have a quick look at the record here, because of course being a replay, it does skip past this when you end it. But that was the end game build there. Slight lead on value because I had that 2-star legendary. Yeah, if you want to beat a Punisher build, especially one that's using Marsh Lord, I should say, add a couple of goblins and add some assassins, and you're going to do wonders, absolute wonders. So the other change you can make is, especially if you haven't found Sword Dancer, just use Siren, because that will give you Oceanborn, and that will give you the magic resistance if you are worried about sorcerers. So that is definitely worth considering as well. But yeah, really, really fun build. And it doesn't use any featured heroes, so you have a slightly smaller hero pool, and you can even run it when you are competing with other Punisher builds. Obviously, there is a little bit of luck involved there as well. So let me know if you tried out a build similar to this in the comments down below. And thanks so much for checking out the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And until next time, I'll see you later.